absolutely delighted though, because we've got Emma in the studio with us today. Fantastic. How are you, Emma? I'm
good. Yes, I'm good. Thank you. So, I was just saying, it's actually nice to see you. I think the last couple of times I've spoken to you, there was one on Zoom, which was a bit iffy, and then once on the phone.
Yeah,
so
it's
nice to actually be here.
Yeah, it's great to be back in the studio, and
it's a nice thing about doing it at home, because I can just shoot down and make a cup of tea.
Yeah,
because trying to get Raymond to make us a cup of tea, it'd be like trying to find hen's teeth.
But anyway, you come today to tell us all about the new season over theatre doing at the Maltings Theatre. Which is a new writers, which is really exciting, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's cool. It's really, really busy. I knew there was a lot on, and then before I came, I thought, right, well, I better write everything down and make sure I've got everything. And I was writing. I was like, oh my goodness. So I think altogether there are 12 productions.
Wow. Yeah.
So
over
one's
what period of time?
One's opened last night.
Right.
That was the Spiral Path, and it goes through until the 9th of April.
Right, wow.
So yes, there's quite a fast turnaround on a lot of them. We've got a couple of evenings where there are double bills with a couple of productions. But yeah, it's really good to see, actually. I think sort of particularly at the moment, while things are reopening and getting going again, and people have been very productive.
Everything's being kick-started.
Exactly, yeah. So
I think the best thing as well, though, is the fact that you're supporting new writers or people, because it's all very well having lots of familiar things in the theatre, but we need to have that new stuff as well. That sort of, I don't know, bringing in latest topics and the things that are going on.
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
big wide world.
Yeah, and a lot of it's sort of written by people who are very young compared to me these days. They're in their 20s, so
we won't go there.
They're absolutely brilliant. They've got so many strings to their bow. It's really impressive. But exactly that. I mean, obviously theatres and places need to put sort of tried and tested productions on to get bums on seats and to get people through the door, but equally it's really important to give people a chance, a platform.
Mix right, I think,
and sort of to put things out there. It's all very well sitting there and reading it with your mates and getting feedback from people you know, but actually testing it in front of a live audience is completely different.
You never know, you might have a super winner amongst one of those.
I know.
Win a big award at some point.
Exciting.
So, but now, do I call you an actor or an actress? It seems so sometimes.
I know, it's funny, isn't it? I think it's. I always call myself an actor rather than an actress. I don't know why, really.
Well, it's changed. It used to be very much actor-actress, isn't it? But over recent years, it's become more...
One heading.
I just don't feel glamorous enough to be an actress.
You're very glamorous.
We won't discuss that one.
But you're in the next production, so there's like you said, there's a production started already.
Yes,
which is Spiral Path, which you mentioned.
Right.
That goes on to the end of the week, doesn't it?
Yes, that's right. And then and then we're next up. So Mosquitoes, which runs for 2 weeks. Actually, we've got a nice big chunk of time.
That was supposed to happen before, but COVID.
It was meant to happen last year, so we had a week's sort of R&D/rehearsal, February last year, and then obviously nothing happened. It's brilliant to get another shot at it and actually put it on.
So tell us a bit about it then. What's Mosquitoes about?
It sounds a bit bonkers, and it can sound like it's very heavy, and actually I'm going to preface it by saying it's really, really funny. It's really good. It's quite dark, but it's very, very funny. So the sort of central idea is it centres on a family. And really two sisters. So I play the elder sister, who's called Alice, and then Faith Turner's playing the younger sister, Jenny. And it's really about the relationship they have with each other, and then with their mother, and then Alice's relationship with her son, and the various men who are sort of on the periphery. The two sisters are completely different. So Alice is kind of a super brain scientist who's working at the Large Hadron Collider back in 2008 when it's switched on. Right. So that's her baby and her big project, and her mother is also a very bright scientist as well. Jenny, on the other hand, lives in Luton, gets most of her information off the internet.
Quite local then.
Yes, which is quite nice actually, and has decided for herself that she's not very clever and she's never going to make anything. So it's kind of the tension between the two, primarily between the two sisters.
So that's actually quite real life, isn't it? Because you do get that kind of...
very much so.
I mean, I've got two daughters, and so is Trev.
I
would say they're my daughters, so they're both brilliant in my eyes anyway, but they are very different. They look different. In fact, you wouldn't guess that they're sisters particularly. Well, your two probably, they look more alike. You can probably see a resemblance a little bit more than my two.
Yeah, probably.
But one's very dark, one's much lighter. There's a big difference. But But you're right. I've seen this happen time and time again, where you've had two that one might have gone scientific, one might have gone creative. You know, very different.
And there's sort of years and decades of history. They're both in their 40s,
right?
And you can, because I've got two girls as well, and you can, and I'm an older sister of a brother, so you can just hear the same arguments.
Goes around.
And the way, the triggers that they have on each other, and I mean there are a couple of huge sort of very serious rows, but a lot of it is just the kind of the needling. And then these sort of gorgeous moments where they're actually very close and they are sort of relying on each other.
Fantastic.
But yeah, it's a brilliant
so you're looking
piece of
forward
writing.
to that.
Yes.
I presume. Yeah. And then we've got like you said. I'm just looking down. How many different plays are there?
I think there are 12 altogether, and the other 11 are all new pieces of writing, which is quite something. So, and there's everything. There's musical theatre, there's comedy. We've got a version of Three Sisters by Chekhov, which has been relocated to Wigan.
Oh, right.
So that won various awards when it was on in London. So, and a couple of one-person shows as well. So it's a real mix. It's
that's
it's
really
exciting.
Cool. So that goes on to April. So that's the current season. And if people want to find out more, they can go to the OVO Theatre website.
That's right, which is ovo.org.uk. I wrote it down because I always get it wrong.
And there'll be more. Does it give a little bit of a synopsis on each of the plays?
It does. It does. Yes, because it can be a bit daunting, sort of going along to see something where you've got absolutely no idea. So yes, it gives a little bit of blurb on each production. So
have you had a chance to meet some of these writers?
Yes, I mean I've worked with some of them already. So yes, and then we had a photo shoot a couple of weeks ago. So it was nice to kind of meet them and say hello. But yeah, it's really, really nice to see, and it's nice to see some sort of fresh stuff. And as I say, people who I've worked with on stage before, showing off another one of their talents. They're kind of sickeningly good at lots of different things.
I bet it's really exciting for the writers to have the chance to have their work being performed out there. Is it just people? Well, I shouldn't say just really. The members of OVO Theatre that are the performers, or are they bringing people in to do that?
There are people who have come in. Right. There are also directors as well. So although they might have read it and be in it, or maybe neither, maybe they've written it and they're not in it. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words. So it's a nice sort of combination of some people that you might recognise but might not actually be on stage in front of you, and new faces, and so it's quite a good melting pot. It's
fantastic. Nice. Are you in any of the others, or are you having a break?
That would be nice. Possibly.
Not
That's very non-committal.
Yes, I'm afraid. I know. I'm normally really bad at spilling the beans, but I'm going to have to say.
We're not allowed to say them. So that's fantastic. So do you know what's planned for the next season after this one? Is there anything in the works that you're allowed to say?
Nothing that I can say. Nothing's sort of been formally announced, but plans are afoot. So because it's going to be busy.
Watch this space.
Yes, it's been quite nice to have a few months off because last year was very busy, which is lovely, and I can kind of feel the same roller coaster coming, which is it's nice, and as the weather's getting better as well, it makes everybody feel better.
Hopefully do some outdoor stuff like you did last year.
And hopefully get some weather for it as well. That would be good.
Well, hopefully, mind you. By current, I mean, the temperature at the moment is a bit warm, isn't it, for this time of year?
I know.
It's a bit crazy.
Yeah, it was a bit upsetting. We were all locked in with COVID a couple of weeks ago, just when the weather was glorious. So sort of sitting, looking through the windows at the beautiful sunshine, which was a bit upsetting.
Oh, that's the worst, isn't it? When it's really nice. If it's raining and horrible or cold outside,
that's fine. Stay indoors.
Hot chocolate and a DVD.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming and telling us all about it. We always ask for, as you know,
taking the time out to come out to see us.
My pleasure.
Nice.
Nice to see you.
Come to the studio, which is fantastic. As you know, we always ask for a song choice.
Yes.
And you've come up with Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden.
Yes, that's right. That's actually Adam who's directing it. That was his choice. So I was sort of busy racking my brains. I always tried to find something that links in with the show, and normally don't have any trouble with it at all. But I don't know whether it's COVID brain, but he came back straight away. So.
Oh right. Okay. Is this one then in the production? Because I know he uses music in the production.
I don't know. I think it's more to do with the link with sort to the Higgs boson particle, and there's people's concerns at the time that they might, when the collisions happened, and if everything actually worked as it was supposed to do, that it might actually create a black hole and destroy life as we know it.
Swallowed up, weren't we?
Yes, that was
it's going to gradually radiate out.
Yeah,
and
that was the concern.
It was the end of the world type scenario.
Exactly.
It happens quite a lot, doesn't it? Well, send our love to everybody at the theatre, and wish everyone the best, break legs and etc. and good luck and so on for all the shows. And hopefully we'll get along to see something. It's always difficult with Trev's.
I'm difficult, you see.
He's a night shift worker, so
I see.
It's always a bit difficult to try and get anywhere really in the evenings.
Monday night to Friday night, 10 at night till 6 in the morning, and then the bit on top of that is I work in Peterborough.
Oh crikey!
So I have that 125-mile round trip every day.
Oh goodness me, it's making me tired just thinking about it.
But yes, thank you again for coming.
Yes,
pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you again next season. Probably.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. Now we're going to play Soundgarten and Garten. I'm speaking German now.
Well, you do have a German background.
Well, I do, yes, but. For some reason I thought they were Soundgarten, but maybe I'm obviously wrong. It's Black Hole Sun.